Now, if I told you Conor McGregor was going to be responsible for a complete revolution when it comes to content internationally, I bet you would say that's insane. But I'm not insane. And I found stats after I recorded the video. The last segment of this video is about how Conor McGregor is single-handedly going to be responsible for a new segment of the 80s, like the 80s action movies, because Roadhouse did 50 million streams, okay? Those guys single-handedly, in conjunction with the failure of woke Hollywood, are going to lead to a new generation of action heroes and the death of woke nonsense. All right, so we got to talk about Conor McGregor. Two stories. One really good. Amazon has announced that 50 million people watched Roadhouse in the first 2 weeks. That's the biggest debut they've ever had on the platform. Much bigger than the sorry show Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power that they spent $1 billion on. $1 billion on the Lord of the Rings adapted show, and Roadhouse did significantly better than that. So how's that taste? Woke nerds that are making garbage content. How's that taste? I decided we're going to talk a lot more about the woke nonsense Lord of the Rings show at the end of, we'll talk about it after I talk about UFC 300, because I have a lot to say. There's a lot of Disney stuff that just came out too. Gonna have to talk about that as well, because Disney has been exposed. So we're going to talk Lord of the Rings and Disney after we talk UFC 300. It's probably pretty bitter. So we're going to talk about that, but also we're going to talk about Conor McGregor facing major backlash after recent photos. I might actually have to steal that exact title. That's good. That is good. Because the story itself basically could be called Jesse on Fire was 100% right last time Conor did this exact thing. And then we're going to talk about UFC 300, because number one thing we need to talk about is the massive blown opportunity by everyone involved in promoting this fight thus far. And I'm talking everyone. Why has no one talked about this? There is a major storyline associated with the main event that literally no one is talking about, at least not at the UFC or ESPN or whatever, which should be the main storyline. So we're going to talk about that, and, we'll probably talk about some other stuff, so let's jump right into it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I love you guys. We are crushing it. Just had our biggest month ever in March. 3 million views. 3 million views in March, okay? That's a lot. That's a lot of views. So I appreciate you guys, and we're going to continue to rock and roll. Let's watch this thing right here. Boom.
Conor McGregor after recent photos. McGregor has posted new photos on his Instagram page where he was seen partying with a group of women at his pub in Dublin. The woman who caught the most amount of attention is boxing star Ebony Bridges.
Ooh, I feel like we've talked about her before. What did I say again? I can't remember. That's his girlfriend. I think I said that's his girlfriend. Pretty sure I said that's his girlfriend.
Ebony and McGregor have made headlines in the past, and many fans are wondering what the connection between the pair is.
It's his girlfriend. That's a devious looking girl. Look at that face, dude. Does that look like a face that says, I'm definitely not going to Conor McGregor after this? Is that what that face looks like? Or does that face look like, I'm going to let him line up a big line of powder in between my tits and snort it off right before he sticks his in my mouth? What? I think YouTube will love that line, Jesse. Maybe we could edit that out. Ooh. Watch this next one, though. She's all, yeah, right there. Conor, just slide it right there. Dude, I'm going to say right now, anybody who's ever put their between a pair of fake boobs, it's lame, dude. Actually, doing it between a pair of boobs, period, is lame. I've always thought that's the lamest shit ever, dude. Well, I'll do it to Gabrielle every once in a while as a joke. Like, we just laugh because I've talked about how stupid it is every time. You're like, dude, why don't you just bang it out or put it in her mouth? I don't understand. How is this cool? It's lame. You know what I mean? You can, anyway. Jesus, edit that out too, guy.
Here are some reactions. Bro never take pictures with his actual wife, laughing him out. Posting the same chick 12 times when you have a wife is crazy.
Look at Conor's face. What is that about, dude? Jesus. That is the most gay Corn. Are you allowed to say that word on? Are you allowed to say that word on YouTube? I don't even know. Porn. Is that not the most gay porn face you've ever seen? Like Conor, literally, that is the face of a dude who is about to put something naughty in his own mouth. Ugh. That's gross, Conor. Stop trying to seduce the camera like a gay porn star. Blue.
Easy. Before you all start judging, D allows him to throw that thing around as long as she picks them. Facts. Has them vetted and tested. D is a smart ride or die. She knows how the game is played.
Yeah, see, that's what you guys didn't know, is that D picked and vetted the girl in the Miami bathroom. She was like, listen, I don't want you getting any BJs from girls that are under 400 pounds. And that is what Conor's like, look, baby, Jesus. Maybe we should just start over, guys.
Conor gonna get that whole pub pregnant. No respect for your family. Where's bro's wife?
How do you guys know that it's not cool with D? Of course it's cool with D. She is green lighting this, dude. You think D doesn't know that he bangs this girl? Come on, dude.
Everyone loves you when money flying around. When it's gone, your wife and kids will be gone as well.
Why would his money ever be gone?
Pay attention to the things that matter before it's too late. Your kids will see this one day and recognize how you treated their mom.
No, they won't. You think the kids are going to be looking through Conor's old pictures? They're 10 years old and be all, hey, seems like you took a lot of pictures with this blonde chick a lot. No, they won't. Okay? And by then, she won't be hot anymore and won't be Conor's girlfriend anymore.
Gross. Your wife is way prettier than these girls. What the f is wrong with you? You have a wife and children? Gross.
Dude, okay. Gabrielle would not let me do this. But if D is cool with it, why does anyone care about what Conor is doing with his, $500 million kick? I don't get it, dude. Who cares? What do you care?
Just remember, brother, family comes above all necessities.
Yeah, okay. So, again, I am going to go out on a limb here and say that D is cool with it, okay? I don't think that Conor would be out doing this that publicly with that girl that much if his girl didn't know. If you've watched Notorious, dude, Conor and D have the most codependent relationship ever. She is with him all the time, okay? Conor is a horse that can't be tamed. Just look at that guy. Does that guy look like a dude? Okay, when you watch him, you think that he could just lock down in a home and feed a baby a bottle? He's a lunatic. His girl knows who he is, okay? She knows who he is. Bridges, she's never coming home with him, okay? He's never going to leave D for Bridges. So D doesn't care. Again, this would not fly with my wife at all. Not even a little bit. Believe me, I have tried to have that conversation. It would never happen, dude. So, I prioritize the love of my life. If I'm not allowed to bang other girls, then I don't. You know what I mean? But if Conor's allowed to, more power to him. Maybe if I made $500 million, then that is exactly what I would do. What in earth? Someone just commented something to me. They're all, stop talking about Diddy. I'm like, what? If you want me to stop talking about Diddy, I have an idea. Stop giving every single video I do about him 150,000 views. You know what I mean? Jesus. All right, so they are asking for me to talk about MMA. So let's talk about UFC 300, though, because talk about the biggest missed opportunity I have ever seen, ever, in promoting a title fight, okay? So who do we have in the title fight for UFC 300? I can't remember. I think it's these two guys, right? Feel like it's these two guys. And here's the thing. I'm going. And yes, I am ecstatic about that. I'm getting very excited. I'm thinking about it all the time. I cannot wait. We're in the front row, right where the guys go into the locker room after the fight, which means we're going to be high-fiving some very happy people and some very unhappy people. But, we're excited. Very excited. So if you're going to be in Vegas that weekend, we will be around the MGM. And we will be at the fights. But again, Pereira versus Hill, this is a catastrophe when it comes to promoting this fight, because why did they not see this very obvious way to promote the fight, which is who did Jamal Hill beat to win the title? Glover Teixeira, right? Glover Teixeira. Now, if I were to Google search with you guys, Glover Teixeira, whoops, and then Alex Pereira, what would come up? Huh. Geez, a lot of that, huh? Like, it's almost like these guys are friends. Hang on. Are they coach and friends? Like, are they kind of inseparable when it comes to MMA? I think they are. So how on earth am I the only one that figured out that this was a revenge match for Alex Pereira? You know what I mean? What, like, now let's go back over here. Okay. Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill. Let's see. I mean, let's see. There we go. Fine. Okay. So Sports Illustrated. Cool. But that's it. You know, that's it. You go to here, ESPN. He'll meet Jamal Hill. Okay. He beat Glover Teixeira to win the title. And that's it. That's it. You know, like no one in the promotions department can put together that this is a blood feud, okay, where Jamal Hill beat the living breaks off of Glover Teixeira, who is best friends with Alex Pereira. It's a really tough connection. I just can't imagine how anyone would have missed that. I mean, come on. Come on. Now, you did have this, where Jamal Hill reached out to Israel Adesanya for advice on fighting Alex Pereira, and apparently people were all, oh my God, he reached out to Izzy for advice? That's so stupid. Why would that be stupid? Like, people who are railing on Jamal Hill for that, you're all, I don't understand. That's stupid. Why? They're all, because what's Izzy going to tell him? Izzy only won once. They fought 4 times. You're all, tell me you've never competed in anything athletic without telling me you've never competed in anything athletic. What are you talking about? Okay, of course Izzy can give him tips that are helpful. He's fought him 4 times. Like, how would that, like, what are you talking about? He only beat him once. Right. He beat him once. He's fought him for what, like a combined fucking 2 hours or something? What are you talking? Of course he's got stuff he can tell him. You go to martial arts class, and what does someone tell you? They're all, well, when an opponent does this, you can counter it like this. And you're like, oh, cool. And the more specific they can be, the more helpful it is. And so if you fought a specific guy who fights in a very specific way for 2 hours, then it's probably fair to assume that you could give him a tip or two. Hey, when he looks down at your ankle, a lot of times that means he's going to XYZ. His kick is this shape. And so, I mean, how would that not be a useful piece of advice? The people are morons, dude. That's just what it is. People are dumb. If you thought that if Israel Adesanya couldn't give anything valuable to Jamal Hill, who's about to get into a locked cage with that animal in 2 weeks, you think he has nothing helpful to tell him? Don't be dumb. Of course it's helpful. Now let's talk about some woke idiots because it's super fun. So Conor McGregor has humiliated Disney. Conor McGregor has humiliated every woke person involved in Hollywood. And that is amazing because Hollywood sucks. And this is the beginning of a huge revolution. Let's talk about the death of Hollywood, or woke Hollywood, and Conor McGregor's contribution to that, because I'll start you by taking you on a journey that everyone can ride with me on. Now, everyone remembers Star Wars, So, like, either it was a big deal when you were growing up, or it was an old big deal that you were aware of, which then had the prequels when you were a kid, whatever. Either way, Star Wars was cool, unless you were a nerd. Star Wars is cool, okay? Yeah, it's a nerd brand, but it's a nerd brand that anyone who's anybody watched because they were awesome, okay? So, the main reason that we talk about Star Wars is because it is the number one brand that was taken, it was like a shining diamond of success, and then was given to the most woke studio in the history of studios, which is Lucasfilm in the post-Disney era, or in the Disney era, post-George Lucas era. And Kathleen Kennedy took it over. And she decided that the way to handle, when she finally was in charge all by herself, she's like, you know what we're going to do in the post-Harvey Weinstein era? is we are going to eviscerate all manhood. We are going to replace all the male heroes with female heroes. Okay. We're going to very, very overtly just take all the people that all these boys have loved their whole lives, and we're going to turn them into whining little pussies or incompetent little idiots, and we're going to kill them off. And the only heroes allowed at Lucasfilm are going to be girls. And, as a viewer who literally has seen every single Star Wars movie ever, right? It started with the movies and then now moved over to the television shows, and it's just gotten progressively worse and worse and worse to where like there aren't even dudes in these shows anymore. Like the new one, that Acolyte, is made by a queer person who was in her previous role feeding unsuspecting actresses to Harvey Weinstein. She's like, yeah, he wants you to meet him in his hotel room for a quick meeting. And then he was in there. He's like, yeah, I just injected my penis. Why don't you just give me a massage? She's all, you look like Jabba the Hutt. He's like, I know I do. And you're going to give me a massage. And why is it massage? I mean, I'm going to penetrate you and you're not going to like it. And that makes it better for me. Anyway, so somehow she walked out of that role and into a role with Kathleen Kennedy running Lucasfilm. And, she just to produce her own show now. It's called The Acolyte. And it's about a queer, like Sith Lord or something. I don't know. It's garbage. It's got more, like 10 times more dislikes than it has likes. It is going to be a complete and total car crash. They've already canceled season 2 because the world has spoken. We're done with woke. I mean, I was always done with woke, but now the rest of the world's done with woke, Like everybody thought I was just yelling into a wind. They're like, why is this guy so obsessed with Hollywood content that's so woke? It's not even woke. I don't even know what he's talking about. All of those people now are like, okay, we can't take any more woke, dude. It's enough. Enough. No more Bud Light. No more nothing. Okay. Like, we're done with this shit. Like, you can't do this anymore. Something about teaching children that they can chop off their, appendages and then become the other gender. People are like, I feel like that's not how that works. So, no, yes, it is. You bigot. You're a bigot. You are a bigot. People are like, no, I'm not. I just have kids. And they're all, well, I don't because I'm queer. I'm queer. Since when did queer become something like I will say that is one thing that I do enjoy about the woke movement is how they refer to themselves as queer people, because I still think of queer as something that was pejorative. And so I'm like, so in the back of my mind, I'm like, when I say, oh, she's a queer person, it's like a mean thing to say, even though I know they don't mean it that way, but I'm like, but I do, I mean it that way. And I have nothing against gay people. I have plenty against, queer people, which means woke people. They're not even gay. As a matter of fact, queer people are not even gay. Anyway, but so everything that Star Wars makes now is absolute woke trash, and the brand is completely dead. They're going to put out a new movie, and it's going to bomb on a level that is going to be absolutely biblical. It's going to be hilarious because they've never done a movie in the modern age that didn't do I'm pretty sure they've all done $1 billion. You think your new Ray movie is going to do $1 billion? It's going to fucking tank like the Titanic. It is going to be an astronomical bomb. Kathleen Kennedy must have dirt on all these guys, because how she still has a job is absolutely beyond me. She is the most incompetent studio head I have ever seen. Everything that she does, like, it's like, dude, money is your equation in terms of are you being successful? And they are losing money on every single project. Dude, Indiana Jones. Bombed. Okay, bombed. The last Star Wars movie was a catastrophe. Every single show that they put out is a bomb. Okay, if you look up the stats on how many times these shows are being streamed, you would laugh. And Rings of Power is a great one because that was Amazon, right? Amazon spent $1 billion. I don't know what on earth they spent that money on because that show sucks, right? And Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal come along and they make Roadhouse, fucking Roadhouse, a remake of Roadhouse, a Patrick Swayze movie from the 80s that no one was asking for a remake of. And they did 50 million streams in the first 2 weeks. 50 million streams in the first 2 weeks. I remember when Lord of the Rings came out, or Rings of Power came out, and they got 25 million streams, and they thought that was amazing. They announced that from the rooftops. Oh my God, we got 25 million streams. Zippity-doo-dah-day. Woo. And guess what percentage of people who started that show finished that show? Well, the answer is over 70% of people who started it did not finish it. You want to know what that means? It means your show sucks donkey balls, okay? And you have to keep in mind, this is Lord of the Rings. So a lot of people are going to give you multiple tries. Like even if the first episode, you're kind of like, this is not that good. They're going to watch the second episode and they're going to watch the third episode because they're like, it's fucking Lord of the Rings. This has to be good. Okay. So if 70% of people do not finish it, it means your show is absolute dog shit. Fucking garbage. A trash heap full of garbage. Shit. Terrible content. No talent whatsoever. And I wonder why. Okay. Because guess what else has been happening throughout Hollywood? And I learned this in this new, I can't remember if it's like a lawsuit or something. I don't know. It has to do with the Disney board vote and all this stuff, right? They put out the Disney and all these companies, they have quotas that over 50% of people cannot be white on any of these, like on the writing staff, in the, in the actors, the producers, the directors. Okay. So you literally have diversity hiring across the board in all of these films and shows, etc. And I think the main place that you're seeing it is the writer's room. Okay. So if you are hiring at least half woke people, you're talking like straight up brainwashed woke people, then when someone comes in there with like a good storyline about a heroic man who is going to do XYZ, which, mirrors real life, and you have half the room that's all, no, we need a powerful woman. And I don't think that I don't feel comfortable with there being a hetero cis man, especially a white one, who is in a role like that. I think that he should be reduced to a sidekick whose penis is very small. You're like, what? They're all, yeah. I mean, I think that's important. We are creating the next generation's view of the world, and we can't just have this cis heteronormative viewpoint that everyone's going to watch and love. That's not a thing that's going to happen. And you're all, oh, sorry, I thought I was just supposed to write a good story. They're all, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're all, so what's our purpose? Our purpose is to write an inclusive and very diverse story that will help the diverse world of viewers align with the characters that look and feel like them. So you think that a black gay person in Houston is going to turn on a show, and what's going to determine whether they continue to watch it or not is not whether it's an engaging, good story. It's whether there is a black gay person in the show. That's right. They need to be able to align with the characters. Really? Well, I could think of about 1 billion movies that have black main characters that I was aligned with. I mean, off the top of my head, basically every Denzel Washington movie, he's black. I love his movies. You want to know why? Because the stories are good and he's a good actor. I actually never even noticed that he was black until you brought it up. You think I watched Man on Fire and I'm like, God damn, I wish the main character was white. Okay? That's not how reasonable people think, you fucking weirdos. You psycho cult member lunatics. That's not the way the world works, you fucking weirdos. By the way, this is the moment where people who watched my old channel that no longer exists are like, fuck, I missed that channel. I know. I was really good at this. Am really good at this. But so these crackpot woke weirdos ruined everything. And, but here's the thing. You can only ruin things for so long. As the money starts to dry up, when everything that you make fails, and then someone comes out with an action movie with Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal, all white main characters, and it does 50 million views. You want to know what that does? Is it breaks their brain. Because the reason that it did so well is not because they're white. It's because it's a good action, silly movie that people actually cared about when they were making it. It's funny. Like, it's a funny movie and it's good. And they're talented. So, they're not going to be able to understand it. They're going to think that it's because they're white, because they're fucking retards. Like, legitimately, they're retarded. They are so stupid. You cannot tell them anything. They are too dumb for words. They do not deserve to be in the roles they're in. And they are still going to continue to toxify content for as long as people let them. But as it keeps on failing and failing and failing and failing and failing, guess what? I think, Amazon's probably going to lean into this. They're like, wait, so it did 50 million views? They're all, yeah, 50 million in the first 2 weeks. They're all, well, let's make more of those. It's like, yeah. Hey, what's your number one show? They're all Reacher. They're all, what's that show about? They're all, oh, big white guy, who's an action hero and really take charge, real alpha. They're all, that's our number one show. They're all, yeah. What's our number one movie? Roadhouse, Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor. They're all, What's another one that people like? They're all, the Terminal List was very popular. They're all, oh, white Navy SEAL on a revenge story. They're all, yeah, you know. And the thing is, people are going to get the wrong idea. They're going to think it's because they're white. It's not. It's not. It's just because those are the shows that don't have woke weirdos in them, and they feel like they have to make white main characters to offset the weird, diverse nonsense that you fucking weirdos are doing over here. And so that's the real reason that they're white, you know. But anyway, that's probably enough. Kathleen Kennedy is the biggest failure of all time. She's failed up, though. She's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you know. She is a smug fucking... George Lucas hates her. Hates her. You can see it in the interviews that he does with her. He's like, people think they're a good person. They're not a good person. I'm like, he's talking about her. Anyway, I don't know. That's probably enough. But I love Conor McGregor. I love Roadhouse. And I love to see woke people fail. So, love you guys. Bye.